So thank you for joining us today. I'm Megan Miller. I'm the event manager for WACUBO, and I have my colleague Katie, who's working with speakers for the WACUBO 2021 virtual event. So we're going to show you Pathable, which is the virtual venue, just kind of show you what it looks like when you first sign on, what it looks like as a speaker, how you navigate it. Then we'll go into how you do polls if you're going to be doing that, as well as kind of the Zoom controls, and then just some tips and tricks for presenting online. So I will start by sharing my screen.
Megan, can I ask a quick question before we get started? And
Yeah.
will there be a technical person available to us in our sessions?
Yes,
Okay,
there'll be a Wakubo office member in each session that will join you in the green room 20 minutes before your session starts, to do it,
and,
to do a tech run and check your audio, check your video, and make sure you're all set before you go.
and will they be driving the technology during the session, or they'll be there 20 minutes before and then they'll hop
No,
off?
they're gonna stay on. They'll just monitor the chat. They'll mute people if people tend to, unmute themselves or things like that. But as far as like your PowerPoint or anything like that, you'll need to kind of share your screen and do that. But the office will be on to make sure we don't get Zoom bombed and handle any things like that.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah, great question. Okay, can everybody see my screen showing the Wakubo Annual Conference? Okay, so I am right now logged in to the virtual platform called Pathable for the annual conference. When you guys will all get an email, I think this week or next week, inviting you to join this platform. And when you do, the first thing that you will do is it will prompt you to edit your profile. Within your profile, you'll be able to upload a photo of yourself. You can update your email, you can change your password, add any credentials, add your title, your company, your phone number, description, address. I do want to note that phone number and address are not populated on your profile page, so people will not see them. They're just information if you allowed yourself to be shared with exhibitors. So, but it's not public knowledge. And then add any tags that you would like from there. But this is where you will go first. You can also update your preferences should you want to hide your profile from other attendees or not receive any email. I would suggest not selecting that because we will send a lot of like kind of notifications out about upcoming things and everything that's going on. So once you have updated your profile, you will want to go to schedule and then agenda. And this is where the agenda is laid out. Right now, it's in chronological order, starting with Monday all the way through Wednesday. You can also view it in the calendar view, where it's going to show you more of a view like this. Depends on what kind of a visual person you are. I like the list view, but you can do whichever one you want. From there, you will want to go find your session. We'll go ahead and just find Linda since she's on. You'll find your session, you'll click into it. From there, you will see all the speakers listed as well as their profiles, and then the summary and learning objectives on the page. You will also see a countdown to when the meeting is live. We will be launching this platform to all attendees next week. So the minute that we launch that, this is open. People can start chatting. So we encourage speakers to start chatting, welcoming people to their session, asking questions, just start that conversation because the platform is going to be open for about a month before. So it will be just great to really get that dialogue going. Polls is where there's two parts for polls. This is where people would ask questions to you as the speaker. So they would just type in like, if I could type, what is your favorite color? And maybe that's the question they want to know from the speaker. And then they're going to ask the question. So what is going to happen is you will see the questions come through here. So that's exactly, it's going to say poll results. So any question that comes to you will look like this. And then if another attendee likes that question, maybe they're interested in that answer as well, they can use the thumbs up and that will move all your, like the most favored questions to the top. So as you're doing a Q&A session, you'll be able to see which ones are most important. This is also where you will enter polls if you have them, and I'll show you that in a little bit on how you do that. Files is where you can upload anything if you want to upload your presentation, or if you have any other supporting documents that you want attendees to have, you can have those listed here. And then people is going to be anybody that has selected that they are going to come to this event. And they do so by adding it. As you can see, I just added it to my schedule. So this will show up for all the people. So you'll be able to see how many people are in your session. For the day of, you will come to your session, you will click this little manage button. You will only have this manage button on sessions that you're speaking for. So you'll click the manage button. This brings you to the back end of the speaker portal. This portal will open 20 minutes before the start time. So this is when we will ask speakers to log in 20 minutes before, and you will enter the green room. Within the green room will be a WACUBO office member and your session host, whoever is introducing the speakers. During that time, we will do an audio and video check, making sure that everything is good to go. If you are sharing your screen or you have any kind of embedded videos into your PowerPoint, that will be a good time to test it to make sure that everyone can hear your sound and that it's good. There's 20 minutes kind of can seem like a long time, but it also can go real fast. Where we've had people that are like, "Oh my, we're testing things right into the start time." One thing to note is that 1 minute before that start time, attendees will be able to join. So we'll be practicing, prepping, ready. The office will probably about 3 or 4 minutes before the office will share looping slides, and those slides are just going to be with some music, welcoming people, thanking the business partners, thanking the planning committees. So those will be playing at the beginning as people start coming into your Zoom meeting. At that point, the office will stop share, and then we will spotlight the session host, and the session host will then introduce you as the speaker. And when the session host is done introducing you, that is your time to shine, to either share the screen if you have it, or whatever, doing your presentation. We ask that you leave a little bit of time at the end for Q&A, should your presentation need that or want that, and that will be kind of up to you to work out with your session host in that 20 minutes before on how you want that to look. There is some engagement activities that we need all speakers to do for CPE. And we're asking for 5 areas of engagement. We're either looking for polls, breakouts, whiteboards, things like that. We are actually still working with NASBA for them to define that, exactly what that looks like. They've told us 5 areas, but we're just waiting for confirmation of what exactly that is. We think it's polls. So when we have that finalized information, Katie will be sending that out to all speakers so that you'll know exactly what it is. But we're envisioning it's polls and breakouts and things like that. In this manage section is also where you will add any files. So you'll just click add a new file and you'll upload anything that you potentially want. You can add videos, you can add supplementing materials, whatever you would like to add. The poll section is where you're going to add your polls. So you'll click add new poll, and then in a minute I'll show you what kind of polls you can do. I'll just actually show you right here. So you can just name it a friendly name. Friendly name is just for your reference. It will not be given out to the attendees. Question types, there's 3 different question types: multiple choice, free entry, text, and rate. And I'll show you what those look like. Here's where you would type what your question is. If there's any options, if it's multiple choice, you'll give them options, and then you'll say what kind of results you want. Do you want a pie chart? Do you want a horizontal bar graph? This is for multiple choice. For free entry, you have options such as word clouds or bar graphs. And then you can also change the title. So like if you want it to say answer now or vote or submit, you can customize what you want that to look like. The important things are, one is if you only want to see the poll results. So if you want to read the results back, or if you want to have your poll open before your session, because you can have it the minute you put your poll in, it can be in there and people can start taking the poll, or you can have it populate at the beginning of your event. So the minute your session starts, your polls launch. So those are the two options when it comes to polls.
Megan, so is there an opportunity to test our polls before the 20 minutes before our session?
Test your polls. Um,
Take for a dry run kind of thing, make sure
so
we've set them.
they don't pop with polls, they don't like come at a certain time. It's either you launch them now and they're available and you can see them like this one, or the minute your session starts, all your polls are going to be up in there. They're going to be live. And so then what you do as a speaker, you would just need to say, all right, find poll number 1 and answer poll number 1, because whatever polls you do are going to populate the minute that your session starts, if that makes sense.
So I think so if the polls populate when the session starts, that means everybody can see the polls when the session starts?
They can. And so that's where you will want, that's where you will say, we're going to have some polls. They're going to be in the poll. It's part of like this. We're going to make some session host instructions. And so if you do have polls, the session host will say, the speaker has some polls. Please do not take them until you're prompted by the speaker. So that way you
Okay.
can get them in real time by doing that way.
Yeah, I would just want to see if we could check them before to make sure that everything I've populated on that previous screen comes out the way I like imagining it coming out. And so that I'm not seeing the poll live for the first time during this session, I guess.
Yeah, there's not really a way to like test it besides making a poll and showing it like just not clicking that hide until session starts. So creating the poll so that you can see it in real time and then making sure it's good and then going back into the poll and switching it to hide until presentation starts.
Okay.
So that's I think that's kind of the workaround to be able to test it, so to speak. So that way as you're adding polls, you can see what it looks like and then hide it. See, because hopefully while you're doing that, there's not people on, but we don't know. Right now, there's, just so you guys know, there's about 2,200 people registered for this event. So yeah, it's going crazy and the numbers just keep going up. So it's pretty cool. We're gonna have a lot of people new to WACUBO on this event.
And there's like 5 sessions at a time.
Yes.
So we could potentially have like 500 people in our session.
Yes, you could.
Holy moly.
What we've seen though with when you have an event where there's an institution reg, they're inviting, I think University of Washington, it has like 200 people, close to 200 people that they're coming. We're seeing people not all come to these live ones. They're choosing like a few live ones they want to go to, and then they're watching the recordings for the other ones.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, we could potentially have all 2,000 people on at once, but what we've seen really is people kind of pick and choose the live ones that they want to go to and then watch the videos for the other ones. So, but we never know, I mean, it could be that everyone's there, which would be cool. That way everybody could connect. But yeah, so that's the schedule. As a speaker, these will the sessions that you are in or that you're speaking at automatically populate on my agenda. So when you come to schedule and you click my agenda, as the speaker, you'll see them. You'll see them there. So like if we went to Linda's profile right now, you'll show her bio, but it's also going to show you what sessions she's linked to. So if you go into any ND person's profile, you'll be able to see any speaker's profile. You'll be able to see what session they've linked to. Anybody can schedule a meeting or send messages to everybody as well. I'll give you just a quick rundown of the rest of the platform. Schedule meeting is where you can schedule one-on-one meetings with people, private video meetings. You can schedule up to, I think, 20 people at a time. And when you do schedule those meetings, you'll just click who you want. It's going to ask you what person that you want to schedule a meeting with. You choose the date and time and add a subject line. When you do that, it will then go on to, I put a test here. It goes on your own agenda, but it's labeled a private meeting. So it's just between you and whoever the person that it is. And when you do that private meeting, it looks just like a session page where you can start chatting with that person, add files, and you'll see a countdown to when that meeting is live. So it's a great way to schedule some maybe one-on-one, or if you plan to have lunch with someone normally in an in-person event, you can schedule a meeting and, connect with people virtually over Zoom. people, this is where you'll see meet the speakers. We are still updating. We're adding speakers, pictures as we get them in. I think we have all of them, don't we, Katie? We're just going to be okay. So yeah, so we will be adding all of your pictures as well as your bios if you have them, and then adding any ribbons that you might have. To view attendees, you click this button. You'll be able to see everyone. Right now, since we haven't launched the platform, nobody has photos, but the minute that we do, everybody will be able to update their own profile. You can also search for people by first name, last name, credentials, titles, companies, descriptions, ribbons. Really, you can choose whoever you want. So it could be that you want to meet with, all CFOs or whatever it is. You can do a search by that and then schedule meetings with them. Business partners is our exhibit hall. So our top partners are going to be up there, and then all the way down to our exhibitors. So this will be a chance for you to connect with business partners. You can see all of the things that they've added, if they have any links, if they have staff members who are staffing it. And then during business partner office hours, you can also enter a live Zoom meeting with them and connect with them there. If they have any files, they'll add it here. And if they have any polls, they'll there. And you can also leave your card to show them that you want them to reach out to you. Mountains of Points is our gamification. So you get different points for doing different things. So joining a trade show with a business partner, participating in a group meeting, watching a webinar, sending a private meeting, requesting a meeting. So you get points for everything that you do. And then once we get up here, once we get enough people playing, starting April 23rd, when it will start showing the leaderboards and showing your pictures on who that top person is. And I think the top two get a gift or a surprise. So definitely encourage people to earn those points. And then service project, we just have information about the school, for Fairview Elementary School, and then a way to donate and support them. Social wall, we are encouraging everybody to post, tweet about the event. And as people do hashtag 2021 or WACUBO 2021, it will show up here. So it'll be a great way to, showcase everything that we're doing and connect with people. And then the help desk has just a bunch of information on Zoom resources, contacting the office, event FAQs, and CPE information. So that's just there to help support and help you navigate the platform. We will also be making a how-to video, and that will go out to everybody as well within the next week or so. Conversation is public forums. So we're going to ask the host committee to come up with some just general conversations just to start it off. But then anybody at any time can create a new conversation and just keep the conversation going, starting when we launch the platform in a few days all the way through. I think we're going to keep the platform open till December so that people can watch the sessions at a later date, and all of that stuff will remain. The chat, the polls, the recordings will all be there.
Sorry,
So,
Megan, when does the platform launches on what day again? Sorry.
The 26th, April 26th, it will launch to everybody. It will probably launch to speakers by the end of this week so that you can go in there, but you will get an email because you're an attendee as well. So you will get an email from the WACUBO office talking about the platform. And then you will also get an email from Pathable, the venue, with a unique ID to log into it. Okay, then I'm just gonna show you some little Zoom controls and tips and tricks. You still see my screen? Yeah, okay. So again, just to point out the manage button, that's where you join your green room. And then the minute that 20 minutes before, that join meeting button is gonna look just like that. And you're gonna pop into it. It's gonna pop out just like a normal Zoom meeting that we're in right now. So you will have Zoom open, and you'll need to have Pathable, the virtual venue, open as well. If you have
We're still seeing the general discussion page.
I must have shared. Yep, it paused. Hold on one second.
As I need a reminder on where those buttons are.
Yep. There we go. Okay. Are you seeing my with the big blue arrow? That better? Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah, so when you go into your session, you're going to click that manage button 20 minutes before your event. It's going to pull up the page that looks like this, and you're going to see that join meeting, the join meeting button. That's where you're going to come in 30 minutes or 20 minutes before. Zoom is going to pop out. So you'll have a Zoom window open, and you'll want Pathable window to be open as well. We are going to ask that attendees do not chat in the Zoom chat, but they chat in the Pathable chat in that section. And the reason we're asking that is because people are going to be watching these videos at all different times. So we want them to be able to follow along with the chat, with the conversation, no matter what time they're watching it. So it is best if you can do a split screen with your Zoom open and Pathable open. That's kind of what we've seen works really great. Some people like to do it on 2 screens. However, it works for you, but it is good to have both of them open. Zoom chat will just be for session hosts, speakers, and WACUBO office to talk if there's any tech issues. Everybody else will chat over into Pathable, and that will be part of that walkthrough video. We'll explain that to everyone as well.
So Megan, will the tech person be someone who would be able to monitor the chat and tell us what questions are being asked? Or is that something where we should ask somebody who we know would be a great person to do that for us?
Your session host will be the one that will do that. The WACUBO office will monitor for any like basic, I'm having problems connecting, I can't hear the sound or anything like that. The office is going to help. But any like questions for the speaker, your session host, who's going to be introducing all the speakers, they're going to help with the Q&A part. That's actually part of the program call on Thursday. We're going to go over what the session hosts do. So
okay, and we're gonna know who our session host is before.
Yes. My goal is we created a tracker, and I believe Brad's going to send it out to everyone to sign up. And then the minute that we sign up, everyone has signed up for a session, we will let all the speakers know who their session host is. So you could connect even before the session or before the green room.
Okay.
So using Zoom controls. So the controls are going to look very similar to what they look like now. You're going to, mute yourself when you're not speaking, toggle your camera on and off. You can see the number of participants in the session by the participants button. People can raise their hand, do different things, which now are under reactions. When you are sharing your screen, you'll want to click the green share screen button, and that will pop up to share whatever application that you want, and then the regular end session. But these are pretty standard Zoom controls. And just to remember that all chat, polls, and Q&A are done on the Pathable site. Webinars, if you are choosing to do a webinar instead of a Zoom meeting, your controls look a little bit different. We're still doing all chat, polls, and Q&A on the Pathable site. However, you have a raise hand option, and you see just a little bit of different things. But we just want to make sure that everyone knows we can't use the polls on Zoom because it's Pathable, which is our virtual venue. We don't have access to their back end, so we have to use the polls on the Pathable site.
So why would someone choose to do the webinar rather than the Zoom meeting?
So webinar is more of like a presentation, right? Like almost look at it as like a keynote where you're not expecting any kind of interactivity back to you. You're just presenting. It looks a little bit more professional on the end that, you don't have to worry about someone unmuting themselves and a dog's barking or something like that. And you might not, if you're not doing breakout rooms and you're just doing a straight presentation with no interactivity, that's where a webinar would come in. However, if you want to do breakouts, if you want to do, where somebody asks a question, like you call on someone to ask a question that way, you'll want to do Zoom meetings. So it's up to you to choose if you want to do meetings or if you want to do webinars. So just kind of some things to think about. But yeah, because on webinar, the only people that are shown are the panelists or the speakers. None of the attendees are shown. So all of the general sessions and keynotes will be on webinar, but we've given the option to the concurrents on how you want to do it.
And we have to opt for that by Friday. Is that right?
You gotta let us know so that we can set up our settings in the back end of Pathable.
So we can't if we surpass 300 people, we definitely want a webinar. But if we have like 50, that's great to have a Zoom meeting. I mean, is there a way to, there's no way to change it
I mean,
as we go?
there is like last minute we can change it. It's just on our end, like, because we have a run of show where it's pretty detailed, like out on what is what. And so when we change after we've set it in Pathable and we've set it on our run of show, there's just a like 5 or 6 more steps that we would need to do. And so everyone's changing at the end. It just I wouldn't want it, I would want it to get lost or, something missed. And so we prefer it to be on by the 23rd. But if you tell us like, okay, I want to do it by, we're going to do meetings on the 23rd. However, we want to put a disclosure in there that I think that's the wrong word. Definitely use the wrong word. But, we're going to
Yeah, like I think if it's less than 100 people, definitely a meeting is a much better, more accessible, more friendly kind of a breakout session kind of feeling. But if you get over 100 people and you're dealing with that dog's barking thing, it
Yeah.
is really less professional to.
Yeah, and that is why the office is there too, because we will just mute all, minus speakers,
Okay.
and we'll be able to manage
So the tech
that.
person can do that. We don't have to.
Yep. You don't have to worry about the tech at all. We will, the office will handle all of that, and you just really need to concentrate on your presentation. So if you want to, you could just say, we want to do meetings, but I also say, I want to look on like May 21st to see what our numbers are, and then we could like switch it. But just give us that heads up when you tell Katie that we're doing meetings, say, I want to reevaluate on this date so that we know to remind ourselves if you
Okay.
want to change.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. When you join, you're going to be, everyone comes in as host 500 because we're coming on Pathable's Pathable Zoom account. So regardless if you have your own Zoom account, you're going to come in as host 500. So it's going to be really important to rename yourself. Everyone that joins speaker wise is going to come in as host 500 too. So make sure you find the one that says me in parentheses, and that's the one you're going to change. You'll be able to do all of this in the green room, and the WACUBO office will also prompt you if you forget. So just a reminder. This is the sample of the speaker split screen that I wanted to show you. It's good to have the Pathable open here to be able to chat with attendees, but then have your Zoom open here to chat with either presenters or so you can see both. So that's just we found split screen works the best to handle it. This is how to share your screen. You'll click that little green share screen button. And then this window is going to pop up and ask what application you want to share. You can share, a screen, you can share a PowerPoint, you can share a video, you can share the whiteboard if you're using that feature. So this is just going to ask you whatever one you want. If you are having a sound, either from a video or an embedded PowerPoint, make sure to hit share computer sound or share sound, I think is what the new update is, to make sure that everyone can hear it, because otherwise they're just going to be able to hear you and not your computer sound. So that's just a keynote to note. Real quick, I'm going to go over the poll samples. Free entry text. Those are the different ones where it looks like a list, like we have for questions for the speaker, but also you could do a word cloud as well. So those can populate for you, and you'll see when you're in the back end that you can also share those full results to people. Multiple choice, just want to show you the difference. The pie chart, you can do the colors, all of that is customizable on your end. You can choose whatever you would like. And then rate is just the star rating. So those are the 3 options for polls that you can do. And then just a few tips and tricks when you're presenting. Obviously you would love everyone to have a ring light, but that's not the reality. A lot of us are working in an office or at home, whatever. Just making sure that your lighting is good. We try to recommend not having a window behind you. And if you do have a window, or just to change your view, and also test your view on the time that you'll be presenting. I've had a speaker test at 9 a.m. and it was perfect. But then at 2 p.m. they presented and the sun had changed and it just washed them out. So just make sure to test the time that you're actually presenting, that their lighting looks good. And then kind of what not to do, see the guy up there, he's very casual, laying back. It's not as, professional as we would like it to be. And then the guy at the bottom with the chins, like, you know, really look at your camera. I mean, all of you are great with what you've got right here. We have had people put books up to make it higher. So just making sure you're testing your camera angle. Look at what's going on behind you as well. I kid you not, I had a speaker who had a cat box behind him, and I asked him, "Hey, can you like get rid of that for the presentation when we did the speaker training?" He put a blanket over it, which I totally appreciated, but then the cats pulled it down during his presentation. So I think people were watching the cats more than they were watching him. But hey, you know, you just can't control what's going on. So it was pretty entertaining. He got good results. So who knows? And then just be conscious of your background. I know there's a lot of fun Zoom backgrounds out there, but we want you to shine, not really your background. So, you know, having a nice background. And if you see the girl at the bottom was wiped out with her Zoom background. So just making sure that test it out before you go. And then thank you so much for speaking. We're really looking forward to your presentation. If you have any questions, now would be the time to ask. Linda, you're on mute.
On mute? Oh, sorry. That's my life. I'm on mute. So with the community college session, most of my committee members are going to take part in the presentation. Do they need to be in the green room 20 minutes ahead too? Do I need to do any setup for them?
Are they going to be running like a breakout?
Potentially 2 of them will, yeah.
So I would have if they're running a breakout, I would have them be in the green room and just let the office know who they are so we can add them to the green room as a speaker or whatever.
Okay.
But everybody else doesn't really need to be. That's just going to be like for you as you're running it and whoever else. But it's up to you if you want. If you want, we can. We have a way of adding people to the green room without putting their name as a speaker. So we can do that as well. So if you have, we've had some speakers who have assistants that they want to, you know, it's going to run the tech for them, going to share their PowerPoint and do all of that. So if you have that, we can add those people to the green room as well, but just not share them as, you know, broadcast them. They're just there for tech support, just like the office.
Okay, and I'll send that to Katie.
Yeah, you can just send it to the WACUBO office email and Katie will get it.
Okay, thanks, Megan.
Yeah.
I had a question in terms of, so we were going to be uploading our presentation by a certain date. I forgot what date that was, but and then what happens if we wanted to change it like an hour or 2 hours before the presentation? Is there a way? It's not possible?
No, you can. You can totally.
Oh, okay.
You can totally change it. We just wanted to have the presentations available so that we had them. If you change it, just shoot us an email that you changed it, and then because you're still going to share your screen and do your own presentation. So the most up to date one that you have will be fine.
Okay.
Just give it to us so that we have it after the fact. Any other questions? Awesome. Well, if you think of any, please reach out to the office. We'll be able to answer them. You'll be also getting another email from us once that CPE stuff is finalized with NASBA on what that looks like. So we'll send that right back out to you all. And then if you have any questions, let us know. And we're looking forward to the event and looking forward to your presentation.
Megan, could you and Katie stay on so Jeff and I can share with you our current situation?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, Megan. Thanks, Katie. This is like, you guys are like Wonder Woman. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.